Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to... I almost said Super Metroid. The MDbtroid. I am getting hit in the face and dying, which is not a good thing. I've already died enough. It's kind of sad too, because this is not a hard game. And I have super attack, yeah, I could use that. It's not really that hard, but I'm just not being very good at it. Oh well. So yeah, graphic hacks are interesting. They're there's a little bit more than a graphical hack, but basically for the most part that's what it is. And hacks like that generally don't, I guess, appeal to me as much, just because it just changes the graphics around. But I don't know. Like, I guess if you wanted to play Metroid again, but you wanted it to look a little different, then this would fit that perfectly. Good grief. I don't have energy to waste getting hit by you guys. But yeah, I really don't see what the whole point is of doing a graphical hack, because it's the same game. It's kind of why I was more interested in this one, even though it's mostly a graphical hack. It might get me into it maybe a little more, but it also does some other stuff. And that's not energy either. I need this. And with that, that should help us not die, because dying would be bad. And this room's weird. That those are whatchamacallit. I want to call them CRE, but I'm not entirely sure that is what they would be called in this game. In Super Metroid, those like main, I don't know what to call those tiles here at all. I have no idea what in the world they'd be called. Like the elevator room tiles, I guess. Way at the top of elevator rooms. Those tiles, Super Metroid, are pretty much CRE, even though some tile sets also have them in the tile set. But yeah, I'm not sure what they would be called in this one. And, you know, speaking of actually editing Metroid, Snarfy, what did you want to call him? Has actually just recently released the MDbtroid 3.0, 2.5. I just released it and I already forgot it. But he just released that. It's kind of like alpha, hasn't been tested and whatnot yet, for the most part, and there's some bugs he knows about, but I went ahead and grabbed that just because it looked interesting. It's got some pretty interesting features there, including like being able to insert ASM, insert music, whatever like that. So maybe there might be some more interesting Metroid hacks coming out eventually. Now I just want to go down and grab the stuff down here. I like how well, I don't know, maybe this doesn't come across very well as me playing because I know where this is, but this is really one very, very well hidden secret where the weight beam is. Because first you have to bomb the floor, which you have to find that eventually to get down the high jump. Just bomb some random spot on the floor. Then, just to figure out there's a secret underneath high jump where you can go through. And then back there, if you don't have ice, and you probably aren't aware of the bomb jumping thing to get extra height or whatever, then you might go away and forget about it. Or coming back with ice and whatnot. And then on top of that, there's screw attack hidden up in some random spot in the ceiling. But even screw attack is more open, I would say, than wave beam. Because after you find the little thing behind high jump, that is entirely. You've got to go around, you have to find a fake lava pit. Find a random bomb spot on the floor in the fake lava pit. And then down here, there's the room with the little dragon in it. On the floor next to the door. So you can go down there for more fake lava, and then you have wave beam down here. They really did not make wave beam easy to find. And I do not mind that. And I've said that a lot. I like exploration. Explorational difficulty is a good difficulty. That's why a lot of the hacks I like a lot, like Z Factor, Phase on hack. Those are large hacks. They aren't necessarily entirely difficult unless you're not super careful. But they're also not the easiest. It's not just linear, oh you have to, now, here's your next stop. It's not just like that. And actually requires you to go looking around and finding stuff. And that is one of the major bonuses of redesign. Because despite some things I obviously do not like about the hack, which pretty much are all physics related, excluding those, the hack is also really fun in terms of exploration, and I like the little hunt for the Chozo statues. You're looking all over the place for them. And it kind of forces you to just go around and explore everything and see everything in the hack. And that's brilliant. Just gonna destroy all these blocks so that you can't destroy others. Because that makes sense. Outbreak. There is actually one other graphic hack for Metroid that I have played, and I'm actually thinking about going ahead and recording that as well. Good grief. Fine. It changes a little bit of, like the item rooms are different now, but that's basically it. So not really that much, but it also looks like nothing I've seen on NES hardware before, so it is quite interesting. Thanks, you stupid bugs. Oh, that didn't happen. But yeah, the other hack is called Roids. And that one looked really interesting. It's almost too much visually with all the stuff he has going on. It's almost too much in the original Metroid. That's quite a statement. So whereas this is more, I would say, kind of vanilla-ish, like graphics. Graphical hack, the Roids has more like crazy animated stuff. It just looks it looks crazy. So, you know, and back here there's all kinds of like fake stuff, and it's like a lot of this stuff you could follow and never realize that it's... Or you could just fall into a bunch of stuff and then figure out, oh, well, this isn't real lava. And you land somewhere else, well, this isn't real either. And I just missed that jump. And that's also another major advantage that Metroid has over Super Metroid, actually. You can't say that often, but in this case you can. Is with the lava and acid. With Super Metroid, it's either there or it isn't. There is no other... That's just screwed up. There is no in between. Whereas in Metroid, you've got real lava, you've got fake lava, and you can have them in the same room. Ones are just solid tiles, parts are solid tiles, parts are damaged tiles. Super is a bit different because of how the game engine runs. When you have the liquid, lava, acid, water, whatever in the room, and you tell it to be at a certain height, that's where it is, and it'll cover everything down beneath that as well. There is no cover like 6 blocks up and scroll block 2 for 3 of these 16 tiles. There's nothing like that. It's either there at that height or it's not in there at all. But you could make damaged tiles. I was actually thinking about this. Because you know, there's hacks like Super Zero Mission, which is another really good explorational hack. Good grief. Stop hitting me. Good grief. But anyway. Yeah, like Super Zero Mission did it where it had quote unquote fake lava, but it looks like when you fall into it, there's a BTS block or PLM that you touch that simply removes the lava from the room once you touch it. That's what it looks like. It's not actually fake. It's there and then you touch something that removes it. Which is one workaround, which is not a bad workaround. Another option would be to do it like Metroid here does it, where you can have solid tiles and then damaged tiles. You'd have to make the damaged tiles. You'd probably copy the damage parameters of lava or acid. And if you wanted to get really detailed about it, you could make it so the tiles even look like lava and acid. And you could have those animated too, if you make the animated tiles. But nobody's done that, because that's probably quite a lot of work. Nobody's really done much with animated tiles in Super, though. Even though DC has a patch and stuff for that. I've been meaning to look at that myself, but I haven't got around to it yet. And this is not the right one. There's a missile hanging up in one of these. Probably this one. Most definitely this one. There's a door in the way. Metroid is... this... actually... now, I'm not entirely sure. Metroid 2 might have this as well, but... where the blocks damage you when they respawn over you. Which, depending on Metroid 2, this might be the only Metroid game where a block could destroy Samus. And I have died to that before. It's a sad day in your life if that happens. Good grief. So yeah, there's a missile tank hiding up here. There's nothing else up here. It's just wall and fake floor. See, people couldn't really get away with fake floors anymore. Super Metroid, making hacks of it. Because it's you get an unbelievable amount of complaints about how bad it is for that. Because there was no warning or whatever. Well, that's kind of the point. It's just a fake floor. It's supposed to hurt you. And then when you play it again, if you died, or after you died, or if you just played it again, period, you know not to walk on that. It's like a different set of rules for different games, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes it's nice when you can get away with trying a bunch of new things without people blowing up. At least we'll be getting another energy tank before Ridley as well, so that will be a good thing. Even though you probably don't necessarily need it. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen Ridley yet. I know you're here. Thank you. Get around all these disc gigas. I don't think I got a single thing going for me today. The dragons are spitting fireballs, the little squeep things, the jumpy things, are jumping up high. The disc gigas are doing the small over tops. It's like nothing actually went my way with this. None of those were shut off. And the morph trick makes this a very easy energy tank to grab. Now with the morph trick, I guess the trick to doing it is when you roll off an edge and unmorph, you have to be your horizontal position can't be moving. It has to stay the same, so you can't. As soon as like you kind of want to try and be vertical when you unmorph, otherwise Samus will move horizontally and well, it kind of ruins it because you can't jump after that. So if you're having struggles doing that, just try rolling off one of the vertical room ledges, and then after not holding left or right, unmorph, then you can jump in. And you should be alright. And for the longest time, this missile back here was the hardest to get for me. Because the jump before it. You can make the jump by spin jumping off that ledge into that little gap. But that is a hard jump to do in this game. Whereas you just morph off and then jump up, it's not that big a deal. But if you spin jump, and that's amazing. If you spin jump, your timing, I was very bad at timing, was there's a very small window where she would actually make it, so. Hello. We all know Ridley's back there. Good. No, there's a bug. I don't remember there being enough things over here. I don't need that. Oh, hey, this is interesting. Oh, hey, fireballs and okay. Well, this is ouch. I think he's been doing some steroids since last time. This is... Well, I could very, very slowly take him out like this. You know what? Ice Beam would actually be very useful for this, because you can freeze his fireballs. and he can only have like 5 or so many on screen. And if they're frozen, he can't fire anymore because they're already on screen. So Ice Beam would actually be very useful. I do like how he got rid of the... made it entirely solid underneath Ridley. Otherwise, you could walk under the platform and just fire a Wave Beam up to the floor at him. I did a lot of things with this game. Played it way too much, probably. You were taking far too long. Well, at least you can still screw attack him. Even with this, it's removed the... Oh, I'm out of missiles. Okay. It's good to know. But even with this, it's... with the way his room's designed, even him throwing fireballs long, I don't think would matter so much. It might? I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to just scroll over there. This is going so well. You know what, Ridley? Go. I'll edit that out in post. Oh, actually, I could actually just go grab some stuff, like Varia Suit. That's actually a good idea. Grab some more stuff. Maybe I'll do Craig first too. Because now I'm interested kind of to see what Craig does. Also, the Varia Suit in this game is very... like all the enemies... Good grief, this one right in the... Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll just die. I'll edit this death out too. Nobody saw that. I'll just suddenly be at this elevator. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, the Varia Suit in this game is like super powerful because every enemy and such is like a set amount of damage they deal, and then the Varia Suit, no matter what, just cuts it in half. So no matter what, you are going to be able to survive twice as long, take twice as many hits from that enemy or enemies than you would have before. Good grief. And because death and all, we have to go collect stuff back up again. Which is a issue a lot of people have with this game. Like, I don't mind it so much. It's not terribly hard to get your stuff back. If you're missing a lot of energy, then yeah, maybe, but... or if you need to get a lot of missiles. I guess the missiles might actually be worse than the energy. But I don't think it's too terrible. I think the Lua script may actually do something about that, actually. And there was also a hack that was made specifically to start you out with like 99 energy instead of 30. Which I thought that was interesting, that's a big enough deal where there's a specific hack just for that. And Varia Suit, huh? But you see, like with the missiles, getting them back, it's, especially if you haven't defeated any bosses yet, it's not that big a deal. Because defeating both bosses will give you 75 missiles each. So, and you'll be getting some missiles along the way. And you don't have to use missiles on the bosses. It's not that important, even if you have ice beams. Like with Kraid, bombs are generally the best use anyway for Kraid. So, yeah. I do know. Going through here and grab the Varia Suit. Actually, I should grab that too. And yeah, that's why that one jump in Ridley is hard, because... And that was awful. Why don't you just jump? Because sometimes when Samus does a spin jump, she just won't quite grab or clip over the ledge. So yeah, and if you run out of, or if you die in terrain, getting your stuff back for that isn't too terribly hard, because once you get a decent amount of missiles and such, you destroy a few Metroids, all the drops they give you, and that's awfully pink. But all the drops Metroid give you are 30. So you'll either get 30 health or 30 missiles. So yeah, those give you a lot of stuff back. All these wonderful lettuce leaves. And actually, I just noticed my time. So actually, I think I'll be stopping it off here. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and that was definitely an interesting Ridley. We will take care of him at another time. We will see you in the next video.